Welcome back to Zoho SalesIQ. This video will tell you how to authenticate and integrate the Watson platform in the Zobot. Log in to SalesIQ and navigate to Settings, Zobot, and Add Bot. Configure the Zobot based on your requirements. Give your bot a name and also add a description that will tell visitors on your website what the bot exactly can help them with. Following this, you will choose the website on which you want the Zobot to be deployed on. Once the website is chosen, you will have to configure the departments you want the Zobot to handle chats for. You can choose the departments according to your requirements, but it is mandatory that at least one department has to be selected for the website. Following this, you will set up the type of visitors that you want the Zobot to assist you with. You can set criteria inside this section. There are a bunch of conditions that are offered by Zoho SalesIQ. You can choose one of these. You can also set multiple criteria by clicking on the OR and AND options. Once the visitor criteria is set up, I will configure when I want the bot to trigger the visitors who land on my website. You can choose to trigger a message to the visitors either when they land on your site or click on the chat widget, perform a custom action or initiate a chat. Following this, you will configure the working hours for your Zobot. You can configure the Zobot to function round the clock or only during standard business hours and non-business hours, or just when your operators are offline during business hours. Then, you will also set the bot typing status that will be displayed to visitors. Following this, you can also allow handoff in case you want the visitors on your website to be able to connect to human operators while they are in the middle of the conversation with a bot. Finally, we will choose the Watson Assistant platform. The Watson Assistant configuration window appears. You should enter the Watson host URL and the API key in the respective box and click Authenticate Watson Assistant. To get the host URL and the API key, log into IBM Cloud. In the left menu, choose Watson. You land on the Build with Watson page. Here, click Watson Services. If you're a new user, then you can create a service by clicking Browse Service and choose one or more APIs from the catalog. If you have an existing service, then you can click on the existing service and choose the service name under Services option. You can find the API key and the URL, and you can use these credentials to integrate with the Zobot. Copy-paste the credentials inside your SalesIQ portal. Once you paste the host URL and the API key, click Authenticate Watson Assistant. The integrated person's name will be displayed in the Watson configuration window. You can click Change to integrate a different Watson Assistant account. Then, a prompt to enter the Assistant ID will appear. An Assistant ID is given to the bot to differentiate one from another, that is, each Watson Assistant created in your IBM Cloud account will have a distinguished Assistant ID. You can use the ID to deploy the Assistant in your Zobot to connect with your website visitors. To get the Assistant ID, in the Watson Assistant dashboard, click the Assistants tab. The assistants you've created will be listed. Choose the assistant you wish to deploy in your website via the Zobot and click the Options icon, and then click Settings in the right corner of each assistant. The Watson Assistant settings page appears. Click API Details and copy the Assistant ID from the page. Remember that you should have an IBM Cloud account and an assistant built in it to get the Assistant ID. Then provide a trigger response in the text box. You can only use JSON format to set up the trigger response. SalesIQ does not support the text format. The message can be a text or input and display cards, but you need to follow the JSON format given below to add the trigger response. Remember that the message you've provided here will be triggered only if you have set the trigger in the Settings, Bots, Add Bot, Choose Visitor Type section. You can also define action failure responses if you have defined an action for your bot, and if in case the bot will not be able to complete the given action, then the messages configured here will be displayed to the visitors. You can configure action failure responses for messages that come in after standard business hours or when operators are not available or the operators do not exist anymore in the organization. Finally, click Create. You can edit the trigger message and also edit the assistant name to change the bot deployed. And you can access the Watson Assistant Resources window from the bot dashboard. We hope that helped. Happy Zobotting!